Another Valentine's Day has come and gone, but any time of year is a great time of year to learn what makes a healthy relationship. Whether it's a couple, a family, friends, or connecting with people as a whole, we're taking a look at games that teach us about love, communication, respect, and healthy relationships. Welcome to Teaching Gamers Top 10 Games that teach us about healthy relationships. Welcome, you loving gamers and learners, to Teaching Gamers, where we talk about the games that taught us and how we can teach with games. My name's Mallory Kesson. I'm a gamer, teacher, and ed tech coach with a passion for bringing games and learning together. Today's Top 10 looks at games that teach us healthy relationships, whether it's through great examples, awful examples with a purpose, or relationships beyond just the romantic ones. If you enjoy what we're doing here, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to receive notifications for when we post new content. Let's get started. Number 10, Tell Me Why. While Tell Me Why does some pretty deep explorations into family dynamics, the relationship that got this episodic adventure on our list is the one that starts between Tyler Ronan, one of the protagonists, and Michael, Allison Ronan's best friend. As they both navigate their queer identities in a small Alaskan town, the two gravitate to each other, leading to some moving conversations around shared experiences and understanding. Michael introduces Tyler to the idea of a chosen family and how powerful the community can be together. As someone a bit more experienced in relationships than Tyler, Michael guides Tyler and offers advice without ever pushing him in one direction or another. At any point, the player can also decide whether or not to respond to Michael's flirting. If they choose to pursue a friendship instead, Michael is still incredibly respectful and patient with Tyler as he works through some of his own family issues and personal adjustments. Whether players choose to keep the two just as friends or as something more, Michael and Tyler follow each other's cues and respect each other's boundaries. It's a moving and respectful look at the start of a new relationship with a solid foundation. Number 9, Spiritpharah. Not all of the relationships on this list are romantic, because it's crucial for us to see healthy relationships beyond just the romantic ones. Spiritpharah showcases a variety of relationships, from romantic to platonic to familial, and they each teach the player something new about how we connect to one another. By far, though, Stella's relationship with the spirits themselves is the best to watch in all of its details. Stella is tasked with taking care of the spirits aboard her boat, and does everything from cooking for them, to listening to their stories, to spending time with them, to upgrading their quarters, to offering hugs. While Stella does give a lot of herself in this caretaking role, the spirits also give back to Stella, not only offering life lessons, but also checking in to make sure she's okay as well, and finding their own small ways to care for her. Not only do Stella and the spirits show small acts of kindness, but they also respect boundaries and clearly communicate them. For a period of time after a hug, spirits will kindly turn down another one. It's clear in their response that they still love Stella and they appreciate her, but it's also a healthy boundary for them that players are taught to respect, all the way up to a spirit who actively hates hugs and requests not to be touched. There are moments in the game as well where spirits will request time alone and ask Stella to respect it. And even when they aren't entirely sure what they need, Stella and the spirits do their best to communicate it. Communication, respected boundaries, and a lot of love go a long way on the seas. Number 8, Gone Home. Representation goes a long way in any learning. As teachers, we always look for great examples and positive representations that our students can look up to and learn from. Gone Home introduces Sam and Lonnie, two high school students exploring what it looks like for a friendship to become something more, and how to navigate being LGBT+ within a closed-minded community. Throughout the game, players learn more about their relationships and watch it grow over time. Both girls remain true to themselves and turn to each other for strength, acceptance, and understanding, even when the world around them isn't so kind. It's a great game for players to see how a friendship can become something more, and how open-mindedness, love, and strength can make all the difference. Number 7, To the Moon. In To the Moon, players step into a world where scientists can grant the dying one final wish and alter their memories to make it so. Johnny's wish is to go to the moon. As players search through his memories to grant him that wish, they quickly come across his wife River and their very complex relationship. The exploration into Johnny's memories takes players through the unique relationship and shows just a slice of what it looks like to really love someone for who they are and the ups and downs associated with it. At their heart, though, River and Johnny's relationship is one of working to understand each other, owning up to past mistakes, and of course, loving someone to the moon and back. It's a beautiful example for gamers and learners everywhere. Number 6, Papo y Yo. The relationship between Quico and Monster is very different from any other that we have on this list. Minority Media's Papo y Yo follows Quico as he explores a colorful and surreal world as a way to escape his alcoholic and abusive father. Quico journeys to help his sometimes terrifying and sometimes calm friend Monster overcome his anger and poison frog addiction. The game's inspiration, though, came from designer Vander Caballero's experiences growing up with an alcoholic, abusive father. In sharing such a personal story and calling out the abusive behavior, Caballero and Papo y Yo give players a way to work through any of their own experiences or better understand people around them. Quico's quest to find a way to help Monster does ultimately end in decisions that are for the best, and give players plenty to reflect on and learn from. Sometimes the best examples for a healthy relationship are to see a character's experiences coping with and escaping a toxic one. Number 5, Florence. First loves leave a lasting impression on us. In Florence, players explore Florence's first love through ups and downs and what she learns about herself in the process. Not only does this short and sweet game have accessibility in mind, but it teaches the player both about what it means to be in a good relationship, have good communication, and what it means to find your own happiness. Florence also explores how we judge our relationships. What makes a relationship successful? Is it only worthwhile if it ends in a fairy tale wedding? Or is there more to it than that? Florence gives players a chance to explore that idea and potentially redefine how they view their past and present relationships and what they want in life. Number 4, the Uncharted series. Okay, so this one may be cheating a little bit on the fact that this is a series and not just a single game we want to take a look at, but in the Uncharted series, we really get to see a relationship evolve over time, from when Nathan Drake and Elena Fisher first meet to how they actually cope with living together and having a life together. No relationship is perfect, and Nathan Drake and Elena Fisher are no exception, but they do work to be pretty perfect for each other. From the first game, players are introduced to the daring Nathan Drake and the tenacious Elena Fisher when they meet on a treasure hunt. From the beginning of their relationship in the first game to their marriage in the third and fourth games, players follow Nathan and Elena all along the way, something that players don't often get to do in action games. In between expeditions, and sometimes while on the dangerous chases, Nathan and Elena work together to improve their communication and find a happy balance that lets them both feel fulfilled and keeps their relationship moving in a healthy, positive direction. Even though the relationship has ups and downs and moments that each of them learn from, they ultimately work together as a team to navigate their personal storms as well as they navigate the dangers in their treasure hunting. Number 3, Final Fantasy X. The Final Fantasy series has a legacy of couples and romances amid epic fights. But Titus and Yuna of Final Fantasy X top the list as one of the most beloved couples of the whole series. Tasked with protecting Yuna on her pilgrimage, Titus gets to know the summoner and grows closer to her through their journey. The two of them share laughs, some rather infamous ones, and bond, but they also face tragedy, conflict, and their growing feelings. Throughout their journey, players watch Titus and Yuna's love grow and see how they face the challenges in the budding relationship. Even when they disagree on what they want or how to proceed forward, the two of them still support each other and love each other. By the end of the game, players watch Titus mature and care for others, and watch Yuna become confident and self-assured. neither of which would have been possible if they didn't have each other. Number 2, Dream Daddy. In a list all about healthy relationships, it was only a matter of time until a dating sim appeared on here. Dream Daddy is a bit different though from other traditional dating sims, and it's their thoughtful changes that place it so high on the list. Typically in dating sim games, players work through conversations and dates to ultimately be with their favorite character. In Dream Daddy, players play a single dad who has a number of potential suitors, who are all also dads, to choose from. The player then has to balance being a good dad to his own daughter with his own needs and his potential partner's needs. What's so beautiful about this is that not all of the dads end in stereotypical good endings. Some end in a beautiful relationship, but others end in people realizing they want to work on themselves first, realizing that maybe they're not ready for a relationship, or maybe that they shouldn't date at all because they're married. The writers and designers built the game to represent more realistic relationships and chances for what could happen, not just the player saying whatever they felt would lead to the best ending. It's a really inclusive game that players could learn a thing or two about romantic relationships and familial ones from. Before we take a look at the game that's at the top of its class, we have a couple games that have earned some extra credit and are worth mentioning. The Novelist. Focused on answering the question, can you really have it all? The Novelist follows the Kaplans over one summer vacation. As husband, father, and novelist, Dan Kaplan struggles to maintain his balance between all of these responsibilities as well as taking care of his own needs. Players play a ghost-like entity that encourages Dan to prioritize different areas of his life depending on the current situation. Each choice gives players an opportunity to practice balancing each relationship, navigating each potential crisis, and to see the work that goes into maintaining positive, fulfilling relationships. Professor Layton and the Unwound Future. Not much is known about the puzzle-solving Professor Layton's past until Professor Layton and the Unwound Future, where players learn about Claire, Layton's sweetheart. Together, the two are dynamic, brilliant, and supportive of each other's dreams. Even when tragedy strikes and the player realizes how their relationship is fated to end, Claire and the professor clearly care for one another and support each other to the end. Number 1. Celeste. There's only one person you're with all your life, through thick and thin, through friendships and relationships, through ups and downs. Yourself. It's a relationship that impacts all aspects of your life, and one that most people work their whole lives to improve. Celeste is all about that very relationship. Players tackle the titular Celeste, a massive mountain that borders on insurmountable, as Madeline, a determined young woman who has promised to make it to the top. As Madeline climbs, she's confronted with self-doubt, fear, and anxiety so bad that it takes on its own persona and chases her through the game. As Madeline and the player continue their patient and tenacious climb to Celeste's summit, she learns new ways to handle panic attacks, make new friends, and learns to confront and accept her anxiety as something that is a part of her. Not only does Celeste showcase methods for handling anxiety, create an environment where failing is not severely punished, and emphasize caring for yourself, but it's had real-world effects as well. Players have reported seeking out therapy after playing. They begin to cope with dark or even self-harming thoughts after their experience with Celeste. In-game, Madeline is taught a strategy for handling a panic attack, where she imagines balancing a feather with her breath, and the player has to follow it as well. That very scene not only calmed Madeline, but it's one that I've used in reference with students having anxiety attacks in class. Celeste has done a beautiful job helping people in the real world process the most important relationship of all, and there are countless players indebted to it, making it our number 1 pick to learn about healthy relationships. Thanks so much for tuning in to Teaching Gamers' Top 10 Games that teach us healthy relationships. Which relationship is most notable to you? Do you have a game that taught you about interacting with others? Leave a comment below with your thoughts, as well as suggestions for top 10s or other games you'd like us to cover and take a look at for games and learning. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.